Welcome back to the Last Week This Week podcast, episode 45. I'm Ian Scott.
And I'm Zack Huber.
And this is the podcast where we discuss all the nerd topics from the last week and this week. And we got Zach's weird voice this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna talk about a couple of trailers this week, not as many as last week.
A couple trailers, some Marvel news. I feel like, as usual, it seems to be.
It's like a weekly occurrence, right?
Yeah, I feel like all we do is talk about Marvel some weeks, and some weeks I like it, and some weeks I absolutely despise it.
Sure.
Which is not exactly where I would like to be with my Marvel love.
Maybe that's their goal, is that they always try to be in the news cycle so that like we just never stop talking about them.
I mean,
we have to talk, right?
Well, at least you and I, people like you and me, definitely feel like we have to talk about it.
Right.
And then we're going to talk about some Game of Thrones stuff. And then finally, we got around to watching 2 episodes of Echo. So there will be a review this episode.
Yes, part 1 Echo review. Yeah.
If you can even call it that, but
yeah, I mean, the next review is part 2 because I feel like that would just be the last 3 episodes. But yeah,
sure.
So yeah, I'm calling it part 1. But.
To be honest, I think there's we just watched 45-minute, like both episodes. The first 2 are like close to 45, and then the next 3 are like 45, and then 2 like 30-minute episodes. So
yeah, it just keeps going down and down. Yeah,
it'll be pretty close.
So it'll be easy. Yeah. But yeah, let's get into these trailers that we want to talk about. Yeah.
So our first trailer we're going to talk about is A Quiet Place Day 1. Mm-hmm. The trailer just came out not too long ago. And so if you haven't seen A Quiet Place is directed by John Krasinski, starring John Krasinski. And without giving any spoilers away, it's about a family trying to live their lives very quietly because they can't make any noise or a bunch of aliens will kill them.
Right.
And the first one was amazing. I personally thought the second one was pretty good too.
I liked the first one a lot. Never saw the second.
Should definitely see the second, I feel like.
Yeah. It's like it deserves the story.
I think so.
Okay.
And so this one, if you couldn't tell from the name, is kind of the first day where the aliens seem to be touching down. And do
you think it's all going to take place in like actually one day?
I haven't thought about that.
Because I think that would be the smart route. I think it's always really cool when you centralize a story like in one day.
I think I agree. I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
I feel like it makes sense. And if 24 can make a whole TV show about one day,
right. Yeah.
I'm sure
24 episodes. I mean, come on.
I do wonder if they will do that. But we'll see.
Right.
But I mean, it looks very Cloverfield-esque in a lot of ways with this day of panic and all these buildings starting to come down, or at least being aliens crashing in and everything going kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And I think it looks good, and I like the way that it showed, even through the trailer, it showed 400 some odd days, and that was with the first movie with John Krasinski, and then it moved forward, and it was only moved forward like 4 days, because that's the crazy thing about A Quiet Place Part 2 is it's only like 4 days after.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And then it brings you all back to day 1, and I don't know, I'm excited about it. John,
I definitely
is John Krasinski directing? I can't remember if
I don't know. He's not directing this one.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean that definitely like made me feel a little weird about it, because I feel like this was like, I don't even know if he ever really planned for a second one, and I know this was supposed to be like kind of from the mind of John Krasinski. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's probably signed off on this. But yeah, no, I think in general though, I do really love like how different it feels from the original movie. Like we were already with people who like understood what you had to do, and you were in a remote rural area, but now it's like
in a city.
No one knows what the hell is going on, right? It's in a city, like a densely populated city. There's multiple monsters at like the exact same time. It seems like pure chaos, and I think that's what's exciting for sure.
Yeah, it reminds me of, Cloverfield. It reminds me kind of like Bird Box in a way. Have you ever seen Bird Box?
Yeah, but from what I heard is that like everyone thought Bird Box ripped off A Quiet Place.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. But I feel like there's been a lot of movies like this. Hopefully, it'll be one of the good ones of First Contact, crazy, like kind of like Independence Day,
Right.
Like,
no, yeah, you're right. We've gotten a ton of these movies, but I think with the lore that we already know and have, I think it's exciting to kind of explore this area of the universe.
Yeah, and hopefully the being quiet doesn't get like, because nobody's gonna know when they touch down not to be quiet. You know what I mean? So like,
but we already got that in the trailer,
right?
I mean, like a guy knew when she woke up.
Yes,
to not speak, right?
Which was Jaimon Hansu, who I'm very excited is in this movie. What's he
been in?
The guy that stops Peter Quill when he gets the Power Stone at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then he was in Rebel Moon, which we don't want to talk about, but he was, I like, I liked him, and he's in Gladiator. He's been in a lot of stuff, and I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's good.
But I'll say it'll be interesting to see how they figure out to be quiet, and I don't know. Yeah. I hope
it'll be a good journey.
Yeah. I think John is making a Quiet Place Part 3 though.
Is he?
I
didn't
believe
think that
so.
was confirmed. Okay.
I believe it's at least in the works. Yeah. So, but
yeah, I mean, did I need this to turn into like a huge franchise? Not necessarily. I don't. No. I hope it doesn't keep like more and more keep coming, like movie.
I mean, if people keep going out, it'll probably turn into like, Paranormal Activity, Conjuring style universe, or Conjuring, yeah. But it is interesting. I like this trend of comedy guys getting into really serious dark stuff. John Krasinski, Jordan Peele, Bill Hader. And I feel like it's something that's been happening for a while. I mean, it hasn't. I don't feel like it's been this prevalent. Where you have these actors, specifically more comedy leaning actors, start making projects. But like we used to have like Tom Hanks and Robin Williams, who are like comedians, and then they get these really dramatic roles. But this is like the next step in it, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it would have been like the same thing if Robin Williams ever got to like really direct. I think he would have gotten to like really serious stuff.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what Robin Williams would have come up with.
Yeah,
if he ever got something to direct, or it could be terrible. Who knows?
Look, I'm not going to speak ill on the guy. I think it would have been great
because like I could say like he's an amazing comedian and a great actor, but like I would have never thought that. Like, I think John Krasinski is a good actor, but I would never have thought like, oh yeah, this guy's got like A Quiet Place. Like I was like, oh wow, I was not expecting that at all.
And then on the acting end, he's just like an action star now. So,
which is so wild when you go back to just thinking about him as Jim in The Office. Yeah. It's just wild.
Right, that was his first acting role ever.
That's crazy.
It's like, come on, yeah. So,
but I'm glad he's getting out of like the typecasting, because for a long time it was like that's just Jim from The Office.
What's wild too, though, is that he was almost Captain America. Like he put on the Captain America suit at one point in testing. Right? Yeah. I'm like, I don't know if I would have loved that. But
I'll agree. I don't know if I would have loved that either.
Yeah. But I think he's found his niche.
Yeah.
Well, the second trailer we wanted to talk about today is the new Knuckles trailer. It's going to be streaming on Paramount. Sequel technically to Sonic 1 and 2, the live action movies. I haven't seen the movies, so this is kind of more Zack's area.
Yeah,
big Sonic guy.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a big Sonic guy. I like the first one. I think I like the second one a bit more. Okay. Probably because they went more into
the Sonic aspect.
Yeah, and like there was more going up against Jim Carrey's Eggman,
right,
which was fun to watch, and he was more like Eggman than before. But I gotta say, I was watching this. I clicked on the trailer, and I thought that this was a dumb idea to begin with, and I still think it's kind of dumb.
It's dumb. Yeah.
I still am not crazy about it, but
his voice for Knuckles is interesting. I don't think I ever heard it before. So.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah,
neat. Yeah.
He's kind of like, I'm a warrior, and
right, yeah.
I demand this.
He's very
thing.
Serious.
Yeah, very serious. And I'm not gonna lie, some of the comedy was actually pretty good
in the Sonic movies.
In the trailer, I was like,
okay.
I kind of liked some of the not every, like I wasn't like laughing like out loud or anything, but I was like, it's not bad. It's not as cringe as I thought it would be. But you know, I can't say that I'll say this. They have the actor who played the Hound be like the villain, which I
thought that was neat. Yeah,
I like him, and I kind of like that there's this through line of this other guy who maybe he's in Sonic canon, I don't know, but he's, you know, he worked with Dr. Robotnik.
There's no way he's in Sonic canon.
I don't know.
I think maybe he is. There's been 30 years of Sonic. So.
But, you know, I was like, he seems like a cool villain, but for the most part, it seems like he wants to make Wade, who's like the deputy, be this badass, and he's taking up residence in Sonic's house, and he's probably gonna move in with Wade because he turned the living room of Sonic's place into a fucking Game of Thrones style, you know, gladiator fight. So
it's just so odd that like they've made these Sonic movies that are like mostly in the human world. Like it just like I'm just shocked that they're like successful and like making more stuff in the human world and whatnot, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like not to get like off topic, but it would be nice to go, you know, into the Sonic world.
I mean, they did it for Sonic 2, didn't they?
Not really, no.
No, really?
It was all pretty much still on Earth.
Same with the first one too, right?
Yep.
Well, yeah, that's a really missed opportunity, I feel.
But I mean, I don't know. What did you think about when you were watching the trailer? Even though you've never seen any of the Sonic movies.
Right. I didn't think much differently. It looked it looked like you could probably skip this show if you wanted to just go straight from 2 to 3.
Oh yeah. I think that's fine. You know?
Sure. I think the villains look incredibly cheesy. I will say that. I don't know. This is clearly not for me.
Clearly,
like I don't know. It looks nice. It's neat to see Idris Elba voice acting. Not that he hasn't done that recently, but it could be good. I need to see the first two.
Opinion. This is an incredibly exciting take you have.
I need to see the Sonic movies first, I guess, to like know if I even like fuck with the whole concept. So,
do you have a favorite part of the trailer?
Probably just seeing the Hound again. That was my favorite part.
That was cool.
So,
it's nice to see him again for sure.
Yeah, and kind of like the same voice, but a very different part.
Yeah.
So, no, that's neat. Yeah,
I liked when he bent the weights and just like very accurately threw them at Wade, and like he was literally like crushed under it. I was like, I don't know. If somebody did, I don't know. I thought that was like kind of funny, but
I feel like for me that was a little cheesy. But
I think like it was definitely cheesy, but I just thought the way that it seemed more lifelike in a way was whatever.
You thought it was done well, is what you're kind of saying.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Am I gonna watch it? Am I gonna be dying to watch it? No,
right.
But. I will probably watch it just to see if the first episode or two is trash though. Like, probably be out.
Right. Now I know that it was announced also recently that Jim Carrey is returning for Sonic 3. Do you think there's any chance he shows up in this?
I maybe in like
Like the very last episode or something.
Maybe, or like a flashback or something. But like considering how Sonic 2 ended, I wouldn't imagine. And also, I'm surprised that he's even coming back for Sonic 3, considering he said he wasn't going to do much acting anymore.
Right, that he was kind of retiring from acting.
So I can't imagine he
might for the stupid show. Right?
I mean, he might he might come back for a day or two. I don't know, but it seems like he'd rather not unless it's for like a big part.
Yeah, I feel that for sure.
So,
well, yeah, I think those are our thoughts. I mean, are you excited to see him back in Sonic 3? Do you think that's?
Oh yeah. I mean, he's one of the best parts about the Sonic movies for sure.
Dope.
Yeah. Because I'm not like too crazy about. I'm still not that crazy. I know some people love it, but I'm not that crazy about the voice actor for Sonic. Sometimes he can kind of drive me crazy. But I guess that, that's kind of like the go fast. Like he's got the kind of annoying. I forget what his name is.
What kind of bothered me is that like in the I know for the second movie, they just straight up got the Tails voice actor. For
Did
Tails.
Like that.
But I was like, why did you not just do that for the original Sonic? Like everyone would have loved that.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I guess they wanted to make him a freak at first and strip him of all his identity. But
I was watching Megan again, and
oh, really? Okay.
Why are you surprised? You're like, oh God, you were watching that fucking doll movie again?
It's an interesting time of the year for a horror movie that you've seen recently. But yeah,
There's like this. I wish I could share like a screen or something with you. But there's a doll at the beginning of the movie that it's terrifying, but like it's for kids, and it has the same teeth that like Sonic had pretty much.
Oh, gosh.
When he first came out. Oh yeah, it was terrifying, horrifying.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
Well, I think those are our thoughts on our two trailers we wanted to talk about this week. Now we're gonna move into that coveted MCU news that you all
your weekly
love so much.
MCU fix.
Yep. So we got a couple of actors that were in the original 3 phases, kind of confirming that they either want to return or are going to return at some point. So Paul Bettany, he confirmed that he's returning as Vision in the MCU. We're assuming that's Vision Quest, but that could be canceled. I would assume that it's honestly canceled, but like I don't know if you saw what Marvel put out. Like, I mean, and it's just kind of more of what they've been saying, but they were basically like, our strategy moving forward is less content and focusing on our stronger franchises.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's not that Vision isn't one of their stronger characters. I just don't think he's proven to like draw in the viewers alone. So I would be surprised if his show goes forward.
Yeah, I mean, like if you were to say, hey, guys, do you guys want a movie or a TV show about Vision? I
would say yes, but
I think the general public would be like, who? and then you go like the guy with the rock in his head, and they go rock in his head, and you're like the purple guy with the cape, and they're like like Thor? No, like so.
I don't know. I mean, that's a really casual fan. I feel because like he was a pretty like crucial. He was in a pretty crucial moment of Infinity War, and like almost everyone saw that.
But some characters, like for example, Hawkeye, Black Widow. Do we need a whole show or movie about them?
Right.
Maybe, but sometimes certain characters work better.
Yeah,
just thrown into the mix. I mean, I would be down for a Vision Quest show, but to be like it, I'm sure it could happen. I'm sure it could be like really good, but think I'd rather just see him show up in movies. I know I'm speaking from a place of like, that's where I've seen him the most. And to a certain extent, we did get a show that had Vision in it quite a bit with WandaVision.
Yeah.
But he kind of worked well, going up, like being with somebody, which doesn't mean that can't happen with a show like Vision Quest. But I have a feeling with you that I don't think they're going to focus on having Vision Quest.
Right.
But, because at the same time, they are still working. They're still producing Wonder Man, which is a whole new character.
Shocked me. I'm shocked that is going to happen. It just doesn't like work with what Marvel's been saying recently,
Unless it's really good. To be honest, I'm excited about it, and I like Yahya Abdul-Mateen. So
yeah. It is unfortunate what happened recently. Who knows how long that's going to delay things.
Wait, what happened recently?
Oh, yeah. So, is
this a topic within a topic?
Yeah, it is. It kind of, but we don't have to talk about it long. It's kind of sad. Basically, there was a worker, somebody on production, who fell from the rafters of Wonder Man and died.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's probably going to pause things. I'm not sure how long. There's probably going to be an investigation.
Oh my God.
So definitely unprecedented for something like that for Marvel.
What? But do we know like what they were doing?
No, you just know he fell.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, but yeah, sorry to bring the podcast down a little bit.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, but regardless, we're talking about Paul Bettany and Vision.
He says 100% I'll be back. What do you think the next project that he shows up in? Let's say Vision Quest is off the table. What do you think he comes back in?
It would be Kang Dynasty, honestly.
Nothing else.
Like the only thing he could return to is one, an Avengers movie, because like he's heavily involved with the Avengers, or two, something with Wanda.
Right. But she's dead.
Right. So yeah, we're getting rumblings that like she's not officially, but like the official timeline says she's dead. So yeah, I don't know. Like if she's not going to bring him back, then like I don't know what else I would pair him with other than the Avengers.
Deadpool.
Does he fit Deadpool though? Not really.
Captain America.
Yeah, but like him and Sam were never really like close.
Is there anybody on Thunderbolts that he could be close to? Probably not.
Yeah, because he was on Team Iron Man in Civil War. So
what about Agatha?
Yeah, he could show up in Agatha, but I don't understand. Like I don't think I need him in Agatha, to be honest. Like she's kind of dealing with her own stuff, like breaking out of the hold that she was put in, and kind of dealing with magic and whatnot. So I think that's very different from what Vision is and what he's dealing with.
All right. When he shows back up, is he all white? Or
for sure. I think that's his permanent look now. Is he's white Vision.
I don't love the all white Vision.
You don't really? I loved it, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
yeah.
It's kind of weird.
It is weird, but it's like I think it would be so. It already is a little pointless, like for everything that he went through, for him to just kind of like come back and have all of his memories. Yeah. But like in a sense, like that is the one thing that's like, oh, you're like a really changed being from from dying and coming back and like sort of and having your memories implanted. And so I think that that in itself is maybe more of like a symbolic like part of like how he's changed or something.
Sure. I just maybe would like it to be done a bit better. It just looks a little off to me.
Well, that'll probably happen because Marvel characters never look the same twice in a row. So
I mean, we just got the
yeah,
new Captain America suit.
it's so sad. It's so sad.
I gotta say, I do like the white one, but this one looks pretty good.
There's no cowl. It's just he's just got glasses.
Okay, I honestly I didn't pay attention to that, but
yeah. I mean, like they said it was purposeful because like basically the cowl in the show like was never skin tight to his neck. So they had to like CGI every single shot he was in to like make it look like it was skin tight. So they were like, everyone's like, oh, this is like for budget reasons and like less CGI work. But I don't know. I think it's worth it. You got the money, Marvel. Make him look great.
Yeah, I mean, all right, we can. But anyways, we can get off it. I like the suit. We'll see. Maybe it's like we'll his stealth suit.
Well, the other actor we were going to talk about is Jeremy Renner, who said he's back to full strength and ready when Marvel needs him.
No snowplow can keep him down.
He's a snowplow hero. But hero. I don't know what he's thinking he'll return to. I feel like
Young Avengers.
You think so? You think he would be like the mentor to Young Avengers? He could be it?
He could be like the new Nick Fury.
But Nick Fury's still out there.
Yeah, but Nick Fury is not Nick Fury anymore.
Oh, that's so sad. That's such a sad reality.
But like, all right, I still think that Hawkeye's got a lot left in him. And
I mean, that show felt like the end for Hawkeye.
But if he's going to come back, it's either Young Avengers Thunderbolts in some limited capacity, or an Avengers movie.
I think it's an Avengers movie. I do. I think Thunderbolts, like, I don't know. I don't know how he would be involved with like Valentina. I don't think he would be.
Well, Yelena, right?
Yeah, sure. Maybe they're in touch, but I didn't get the sense that like they were gonna stay in touch from that show. But yeah, I could be wrong. So sure, maybe he's a cameo appearance in Hawkeye, I mean, in Thunderbolts. We did just see him again in Echo, but that was a kind of a flashback to Hawkeye.
Yeah.
So, and I'm assuming the guy.
I gotta talk about that. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm assuming the guy they had playing Ronan was not him. So, because you really didn't get to see.
What? Oh, we can show it in Echo. I'll talk about it later. But, I don't know. I still think, I think he's still. I don't think that Hawkeye was the end of Hawkeye, and if it was, that'd be very sad. Because not a good show.
It just felt like he was passing the torch, in that show.
He was, but I don't think he was like completely retiring.
No, for sure not. But I think it's something like how like Spider-Man 2 ended with the show, not the show, the game. So spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't played it.
I didn't play it.
Okay. So I won't say anything then.
But now I kind of know. If I use my brain, I can kind of imply what you're I can kind of smell what you're just.
Yeah. I would say though that like a lot of fans like misinterpreted what that scene was though. So I guess we'll see.
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see. Yeah, what you think of when you get there. I'm surprised you hadn't played more of that.
Look, I wish.
Yeah.
I wish.
Yeah. Understandable.
You think I'm just gonna be able to relax after this podcast, Ian? No, I got projects to work on.
Yeah.
I never stop working. It's horrible. I'm gonna die at 50.
I'm very sorry.
I have 48 years left. No, sorry.
40. I was like, you're two?
I have how many years left? 23 years left.
23. Yep. Yeah, you do. Yeah, but that's enough. That's enough, dude.
I mean, honestly, in some respects, sometimes I feel like I could die now, and I'd be like that. You know, I think I've experienced enough.
Hey, and on that, no, it's a no, I mean like on a like a more serious.
You make it a segue.
No. I'm just saying like on that more serious note. That's a very nice like outlook to have, like to be like at peace with like the life you've lived so far.
Yeah, but then I think, oh, but all the things I didn't learn yet, and then you go, all right, I should read some books, and then I can die.
So is that why you're reading now?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. But yeah, I think back to Marvel. I think both of those actors probably show up in an Avengers movie,
for
especially
sure.
with them scaling back content. So.
All right. Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars?
I think that's a tough one. I think Vision Quest, I'll say, like, is Secret Wars, and then Hawkeye is Kang Dynasty.
Did you say Vision Quest?
Sorry, I did say Vision Quest. Yeah, I meant Vision is Secret Wars. Yeah.
Okay.
That's my prediction. Because you'd be like, where's Vision been all this time? And then like an Avengers movie goes by and he's still not there, and you're like, dude, where's Vision? And then
what if he doesn't show up at all in the movie, and then he's post-credited?
Like at the end of Secret Wars?
No, at the end of, I thought you said Vision for Kang Dynasty.
No, I said Vision for Secret Wars.
Oh. Yeah,
but that'd be cool if he was at the very end of Kang Dynasty.
Right.
That'd be neat. Yeah.
No, but I think I agree with you. I agree with you. Because I think like you have Vision show up in this new Avengers movie, which it still could happen. I don't even know who the fuck the Avengers are at this point. Which is kind of wild.
Now we got a confirmation that they're getting put back together at the end of Marvels. So by the way, that's on Disney Plus now. So I'm gonna watch it.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah. I was like, it's on Disney Plus? Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. Yeah.
I just got a notification on my phone that was like, the Marvels is streaming, and I was like, oh, okay. That was
yeah.
Thought that I would have seen like some ads about it, but
right.
Yeah, but
no, I don't know. But yeah, so last piece of Marvel news I think we're gonna speak on is got some details for Blade, the Blade movie coming out in a year or two or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to
hopefully
tell us about the details.
So there is some talks. There had some talks with the director of Blade. And basically what we learned is that Blade is set to be a period piece. We don't know what the period piece is. We know that the director got the okay to make it R, which very cool.
Yeah.
It's a bit surprising. I thought Deadpool was the only one that was going to get the R rating. But now with the Echo show, which I got to say so far, I'm not going to say that that's TVMA, but
I think the first episode was on that line for sure.
And then we also learned that the villain is supposed to be Lilith, who I don't know how she is in the comics, but she is kind of a religious figure, and I don't know if that ties in at all. But Lilith is supposed to be going after Blade's daughter to create a army of Daywalkers. And if I'm not mistaken, the Ebony Blade is a part of how she plans to do that.
Okay. That's pretty cool. I think the exciting part there for sure though is the period piece aspect. Because Blade originally was, I want to say, like a 70s comic. And I think if you put him right back in the 70s where he like originated, I think that would be amazing. And then you can explain,
make it like a 70s noir or something like that.
And yeah, you could like I don't know if we've ever seen the 70s in Marvel except for like that military base that like Howard was at.
Oh
in
yeah,
Endgame. So I think like a really stylized 70s movie would be very cool. And then
maybe not like super stylized, depending on what like depending
Sure.
on what stylized means, because like I don't need like it to be like like some like funky ass music and like, yo, what's up, man? Blah, 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 blah. Like I don't need it to be like a black like exploitation
Sure.
movie.
But that could be fun, right? I mean,
A Blade black exploitation movie, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think they would ever do that.
Sure. No, I don't think so either. I don't think so. But like, just like some hints of that style maybe would be good.
Maybe, but I would like
Yeah.
it to be, kind of like Scorsese 70s, crime noir taxi driver kind of vibe would be.
I don't think it'll be
cool.
that serious though.
No, not that serious, but like
stylistically is what you're kind of thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But
yeah, I feel that.
But I have a feeling it'll be even further back than that. Potentially.
Really?
Potentially.
I think with the 70s, like it leaves enough time where like you expect him to age, but because he's like part vampire, he's not going to, and it'll like explain why he's around in like present day.
Right.
But yeah, I wonder if this will be set. If this will be set in America somewhere, or if it'll kind of like follow what the game is doing and set it in like Paris.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and depending on how they do it, the Blade is in wherever Gemma Chan's Cersei's character was.
Weren't they in like the UK?
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, and is that what the Black Knight has? The dark, is it the Black Knight?
Yeah, that's Dane Whitman, who was Jon Snow in the Eternals. He has
the blade that Lilith is going to use. Is that what you were saying? Or
yes,
yeah, interesting. So yeah, I mean, at one point he was like very much planned to be in Blade. I don't know if that's the case anymore.
I don't think so.
Which is a bummer. I like the idea of that character, and Blade kind of taking him under his wing.
Yeah,
but yeah, who knows?
I know some people are kind of maybe not so crazy about another period piece in Marvel.
We barely get those.
I know, but like
we've only had one or two. We've had two so far. I
know. But I guess I'm kind of down with it. But at the same time, it would be nice to, our first time seeing Blade, we get this tease at the end of Eternals, and then it's like we're not progressing. We might progress it in some ways, but we're not doing anything with the MCU. We're just going back in time. Which, like, to be fair, having this more isolated story might be really good.
I think it would be so good for the MCU. Like, keep it isolated. Although you're adding even more lore to the MCU, it doesn't even have to feel like it.
Sure.
And I guess it is interesting that like it's reported that like Fantastic Four is going to be a period piece as well. So yeah, I mean if they do two of those, it definitely does like maybe bog down like the history of the MCU in a way. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think we've had nearly like too many of those yet for people to complain.
I mean, in a way, Black Widow is kind of not a period piece per se, but going, we kind of we're just in this middle in between place that just like, it's like, why did we have to go back to this time period?
Because she died.
It was just a filler,
Yeah, it was a filler, but they were like, wait, we can make women-led movies? What? Let's do it. Let's do it. But now she's dead. So
but they could have done it so long ago.
No, yeah. I don't know if you had heard about that, but like it was I can't remember what movie triggered it, but like basically the top leaders over at Disney MCU were like, a women-led superhero movie will not be successul. And then Wonder Woman came out and they were like, that changes things. Yeah. So, yeah, they just waited too long. They were idiots for sure.
Yeah.
It should have been right after Winter Soldier, to be honest.
Oof. That would have been cool.
That era Black Widow is like my favorite. Yeah. But yeah, regardless, I think it sounds like a cool concept for Blade.
Yeah, I think it sounds like a cool concept. And regardless, R-rated Blade, bring it on. I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it has to be R-rated, honestly. Like,
yeah, I mean, because like you look at Morbius and you go, a vampire movie with no blood.
No blood, right? Yeah, like you have to have so much blood in Blade, like so much. Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Well, yeah. So next topic. Oh yeah, I think we're talking about Game of Thrones now.
Oh yeah, now I think I remember. Remember our topic.
You wrote down the list. I did not.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah.
Sorry.
So next up, we're out of the Marvel stuff for anybody, but we have Echo later on to review. So you're not too much. You have to go. You
can't get away from Disney for too long.
No, you cannot. But yeah, so there were some neat details that came out about a prequel series that was going to happen soon after the original show. It was called Game of Thrones Blood Moon. Basically, there were some set photos of like the main actress who was going to be in it. Looked like she was playing a Targaryen, maybe. But yeah, it would have been set thousands of years before the original show. Would have kind of spanned like hundreds of years, where we see like what they have in the description is the descent from the golden age of heroes into its darkest hour. So it would have included the origin of like the Children of the Forest and the White Walkers and the first Long Night. We would have seen like the creation of the Wall, and apparently the show like starts off revolving around this wedding between a Stark and a Casterly. I don't know how they would be like super involved in things. But yeah, I don't know. I think this was probably a casualty of just maybe like how bad the last season was. I feel like they were working on like quite a few spinoff shows at that time. Like they had even made a pilot that was basically the beginning of Robert's Rebellion. They like that was gonna like the prequel was gonna focus on that time period, and the pilot was for that. But and they spent $30 million on it and ended up just canceling it because the pilot wasn't testing well, and I'm assuming season 8 wasn't like going over well at that point either. So yeah, I think this is a very, very what do I want to say?
It's a
big idea. I don't know what I'm trying to like the word is, but I think it's ambitious. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a really ambitious idea.
Ambitious, yes.
Yeah, I don't know what your thoughts are on all this.
I think the idea of the show, like you said, is ambitious. Yeah. But it's like Eternals. The Marvel movie kind of works going through all this long ass time period because we're following the same characters.
Sure.
The idea
this would have had more time to breathe because it's a show too.
But this is a show that's spanning hundreds of years where maybe we would follow the same characters depending on who they are. But it seems like a vast majority of the characters would be dead from episode to episode.
Right.
Unless they did it some Christopher Nolan style thing where
Descendants maybe, or
you're following like you do at Game of Thrones where for a section of each episode we follow these characters, but they're from this time period, and then we jump to like present day, or we jump to this other time period, and then the things start to collide together. But I mean, first of all, Game of Thrones Blood Moon. I'm not crazy about that title.
George R.R. Martin also didn't like that title. He wanted to call it The Long Night, which is definitely cooler. It definitely would have got more people to watch it.
Yeah, but I still don't even love like Game of Thrones anything, you know?
Sure.
Like I like House of the Dragon, you know?
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. I mean,
that would have worked. Right.
They're still not great titles, you know.
Right.
But title regardless. Yeah, I mean, it would be cool, but it would also have been cool to like, learn about the Night King in the show, in the original show.
Yeah, that would have been great. That would have been
cool
really nice
to learn about the Long Night in the original show.
Yeah. Well, they messed up clearly and kind of almost ruined the future of the entire brand. And then House of the Dragon seemed to kind of revive it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it definitely, yes. It definitely, House of the Dragon was very important, and they fucking smashed it.
They did, yeah.
But I will say, actually, you know what? You might be right. I was talking to Hannah, and we were talking about, I think we might have talked about like Millie Alcock being Supergirl, or we were talking about something, and she was like, or no, I was talking about the 3-body problem, and she was like, why'd they have to do season 8 like that? And she started like just like ranting for like a good 5-6 minutes and I was like, I know. She's like, they just really fucked it. They fucked it.
Yeah. And what's so sad is that like there's so many people now who like won't go watch the show again because they think like it's just a waste of time. There's like not a good ending for them to get to. So like why even bother? And I guess for me, like I'm able to just like I'm either able to like place a different ending in my mind for it, or like I can like
forget it ever happened.
I can live with like the grander details of certain things happening, like which I'm just settling at that point. But like I get it. I do. Like you're she's in every right to rant.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that might prove my point there. Like you were saying that.
Yeah. I was gonna say
these shows were hurt.
And then I was like, nah, my girlfriend even was like ranting about it.
Right. So yeah, I'm just glad that there's more shows coming out. Like besides House of the Dragon, like it was confirmed a while back that we're getting the Hedge Knight.
Right.
And then now it was just confirmed that we're getting Aegon's Conquest. So yeah, I think that is very similar in a way to like this show that I just described, the Blood Moon, because it's like
spanning a conquest.
Well, yeah, I mean, right. It's gonna span a good period of time, but it's also like kind of showing origins of things, like how the Seven Kingdoms formed and how like the throne came to be. Whereas like, the Blood Moon show was also like showing the creation of walkers and the Children of the Forest and the wall. And so I don't know. I think these are all things that like, I love that they were like already established in the universe and like, and just like the Jedi origin movie, it's something that like I don't necessarily need explained, but I think like if I got it, I wouldn't necessarily like complain that it's out there. Like I would probably watch it for sure. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm thrilled about Aegon's Conquest, but definitely gonna watch it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, with the Jedi movie,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, I kind of would like to keep it in my head. Like, how did Aegon? I'd like to keep Aegon this larger than life figure,
right?
And instead of seeing like
you have to get the perfect actor, I feel, for Aegon.
Timothy Chalamet.
Oh no, definitely not.
Austin Butler.
I saw a lot of people saying that they would love Henry Cavill, which I think is a really good choice. He's like, I think, a larger than life figure, and you've already seen him in that hair with Geralt for Witcher.
Yeah.
So I think he would nail it, but
yeah,
that's just me.
You would definitely get a large amount of the population to be like, oh, Henry Cavill with long white hair.
Yeah. No, I think that would slap for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the Game of Thrones news that we wanted to talk about.
And now the main event,
the review. We haven't done a review on here in a while.
We haven't done a review since Loki season 2.
Wow. Well, back to Marvel. Back to Marvel. um, yeah. So the first, I actually wrote down some notes because I had some things I didn't want to forget.
I have some things I'd like to forget about this show.
Agreed. Yeah, for sure. I want to. So this is going to be spoilers right off the bat, or do we want to like say how we felt?
Okay, I guess how I feel. I was not excited, nor was I disinterested. I was just kind of lukewarm about the Echo show. I think the trailer got me more excited. So, you know, I went in with some optimism. And I have nothing against the show for any reason other than just like what I see. But these first two episodes, I'm not terribly happy with them, and I'm kind of, it just feels like a very middle of the road, middling, kind of lacking personality, kind of. I'm supposed to feel like I care about a lot of these characters, but I don't, and I want to, but I don't.
Yep.
So not off to a great start.
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot of the similar ways as you are. I think for me, like I just would have written the show so much differently. Like I just think there's a lot of weird turns they make and a lot of characters they introduce that you just don't care about. I don't really care about biscuits. No, not at all. Yeah. I just don't. And here's the thing, I don't even care about Maya, like at this point by the end of episode 2.
Yeah.
So I think it's very smart that they made this for 40 million. That's
the action scene. Well, I guess I won't go into it, but the action scene in episode 2, like, looks like that's what you would. It doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look great.
Agreed. But it doesn't look like super far off from anything Marvel's put out recently. So
I think it's a lot lower than stuff they've put out recently.
You think so? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I say we get into the spoiler review.
Yeah.
I think right out the gate, the first scene is so insane, and like, I was just like, what the fuck is going on right now? It's basically they're these gold people underground, and they're drinking from the swirly water, and I'm like, what the hell is going on right now? and like the ground breaks and they emerge from the ground, and like they shed their skin, and this woman like with swirls on her hands like leads her people, and I was like, okay, yeah, sure, that happened. And that's apparently the story of the first Choctaw people, who is the Native American tribe that Maya belongs to, or descended from. I thought all that looked really, really rough. I'm not gonna lie, and in general, like design wise, and just throwing us into that was just crazy. I didn't like any of it.
I didn't mind it, and I don't know if it's a part of Native American mythology, or if it's something new with the show, or it's a part of the comics. I don't know. Sure, I didn't expect it, but like I wasn't terribly bothered by it. I will say in episode 2.
So are we talking about the first scene again in episode 2?
The game?
The lacrosse game? Yeah. I was just like, what is this stupid game we're playing? And then the loser has to get banished? I was like, what are these stakes? What are we doing?
Look, I think the game I didn't think was stupid. And I thought, like, if that's the stakes of the thing, then fine. It wasn't presented. It just like that way, like it was presented like as a game, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, like the whoever loses is gonna be banished. But it was like the way it was shot. I'll say it was kind of cool, being like, this is what Oklahoma or Alabama looked like back here,
1280. Right.
I was like, that's kind of cool, but it looked like it was shot on like a drone and like an iPhone sometimes, which I didn't love.
Yeah, and then you have the scene at the end of that whatever origin scene or whatever, where the woman that it's focused on, like, all of a sudden gets this urge and power in her hand, these stupid swirls on her hands.
Stupid swirls.
They look so dumb, Zach. They're like drawn on swirls. They're so they're so bad. And
I mean, I just have a power with the power in general. I think I have an issue with so far.
Sure, but it gives them like strength, I guess, to do things.
Yeah.
And so basically, what those two scenes, the first scene of episode 1 and the first scene of episode 2, like, basically are building up to this point at the end of episode 2 where, like, Maya's leg gets stuck in the situation, and she basically gets these swirls on her hand and these kind of like flashbacks to her ancestors, and it like gives her the strength to get unstuck. And it is honestly maybe one of the lamest powers I've ever seen in the MCU. And the build up to it was not good. It was not good.
I mean, maybe we'll find out later why she's just developing these powers now. Maybe it's because she's back in Oklahoma. I don't know.
It's probably it. Yeah.
Or Alabama. I don't know where I think it was Oklahoma.
They're in Oklahoma. Yeah.
But, if it's not that, I don't know why it decided to show up then, because it, like, I feel like out of all the instances in her life, there's got to be other like times where that power would have been helpful. Regardless,
for sure, I'm sure there's times in Hawkeye where it would have been helpful.
I think she's a cooler character, honestly, without these powers. Like, I think giving her extra strength, supernatural powers, is a bad idea, because she is. The thing that makes her cool is like she has these disabilities, yet she's super capable, and she's like is as good as anybody else. Yeah. I don't particularly love Maya's personality, because I don't really feel like there is one sometimes.
No,
or
there
like
isn't. Yeah. Or her personality is treating her family like shit and using them for whatever she wants. That's her personality.
Yeah, like, I'd like to know why she doesn't fuck with her family as much, because they don't really show why, other than she's been gone for a while because of her dad. Like, I understand, like, she grew up and she started getting into crime and stuff, but she seemed like she had a lot of love for her family, and then she comes back and we're supposed to.
She doesn't even want to see like her best friend, like her cousin,
and I guess
she called her sister. Like, come on.
But I guess we'll find out why, but it's not presented, like, it's just presented in a way that's like, we're supposed to feel something, but it's not actually, doesn't actually make me feel very much. And I'm not, and like, yes, it might be a little difficult to get some personality traits out that you would get through talking instead of verbal, like American Sign Language. But I've also can say that I've seen movies and shows with people who communicate with sign language, and they still have character. Whereas I feel like with Maya, she says things that are like, I feel like are written to be like funny or sarcastic, but they just don't land.
Sure.
And that's just my opinion.
No, I agree. I think there's some times where it's like they don't know how to write like character development or character personality for like a deaf person. It's interesting, but I think touching on like, going to her as a kid, I did like the child actress.
Oh yeah.
I thought she looked insanely similar to who's playing her now.
I mean, I related more, like I cared more about her as a kid than I feel like I do now, which is
for sure
not good.
Although I didn't love a lot of like that backstory when she was a kid. Like, I think I think it's mainly just how like things were shot and like how things were done. Like I think I'm also like in the boat now where I'm getting tired of like unnecessary CGI from Marvel. Like like I think the bird was so unnecessary to like CGI. Like I think in the past, like the red bird that like signaled to the grandmother that like something was gonna be wrong, right?
Yeah.
That was CGI. They even CGI'd like the leg that the child has that's like been cut off from the car crash.
I mean, I will say, I feel like it would probably be much more. It would be pretty difficult to get a bird and like unless you got a trained bird and it was able to do it. I feel like it could be a little complicated to do that.
I get it, but like I just like we've seen that from Hollywood in the past where like they have trained like animals that they use and they can substitute an actual leg and make it look like there's not one there. Like I don't know. It's just like
it would be nice to see the effort.
Yeah, right. Like let's not like go to CGI for like literally every inconvenience that we have. But yeah, but besides that,
which could technically be more expensive.
True. I think it is more expensive to do CGI, right? But yeah, so I think after that point of the story where we see her, kind of the end of her child life, I think it gets really strong at like where it gets like where basically Fisk kind of takes her in after she's just got like violent after her dad has died and kind of points her anger in like this direction, like a purposeful direction, kind of like what he says. And so her on her first mission in that warehouse is easily the best thing of that entire 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Great action, I think, all around. Great kind of camera work, and then the fight between her and Daredevil was so fun. Like having the perspective of a villain and like having your operation busted in by Daredevil and now you're fighting him. Like I just thought it was all super well done.
Yeah.
And all the times where it switched to like her perspective and we lost all the audio, I thought was really, really cool. Like I love those spots in the show. So there are things I like about it. It is kind of a bummer that Daredevil had to be there for part of it for me to like it.
Sure,
but they're doing some really like with the audio, they're doing some really good things. But I mean, the action was good too. So
even before he shows up, it was a good scene.
Agreed. I agree. But it was definitely aided by him for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, all the first 25 to 30 minutes is just a recap of things we already kind of knew about her. Maybe we learned some new things, but it's kind of getting us caught up to speed. For sure. Yeah, there's even a point where like it's detailing everything that's happened since or like around Hawkeye and since Hawkeye. And to be honest, if I didn't watch Hawkeye, I would. Like they tried to frame the Fisk was the one that got her dad killed. Yeah. They framed it in like a way that if I didn't see Hawkeye, I would be like, oh, so we're just assuming
Hawkeye's word on that, right?
It was just like, oh, you should know, and it's like you should know that like you're being used, and then the next thing was like pointing the gun at him, and I was like,
well, that was a quick turn.
That was a very quick turn. I wouldn't, so if it was just one of those things, I was like, if you hadn't seen Hawkeye,
and it's been 2 years since I've seen Hawkeye, so I've forgotten some things for sure.
Anyway, I just kind of thought some of the stuff with her backstory was kind of it wasn't super great. And then as soon as we get to like going to Oklahoma again, I just started.
I will say though, I was surprised at the way they did like her shooting Kingpin. I thought they were gonna BS it and be like she started to cry or something and then missed and like didn't shoot him, but like she just straight up like shot him and looked the whole time. Like she wasn't phased. Like she wanted this man dead. And then you see him at the end of episode 1 where he's in a hospital bed. and he's like he was shot straight through the eye, and I was like, okay, that's kind of ballsy for Marvel to have done that. So,
But
I respect it.
How the hell
Is he alive?
still alive?
Sure. Somebody
how-
would have had to like be there immediately to take him to a hospital.
And how's the back of his head not blown open?
yeah. No, that's some good questions. There's some good questions for sure.
Like, I need to know this. I actually need, like they say, talk about Tiamat in the Indian Ocean, or that Arsham showed up in the sky, or whatever you want to say about Marvel in phases 4 through 5. But I definitely need to know how the fuck he's alive, and I better find out, because that's fucking insane.
Well, they already beefed him up in Hawkeye, so there's probably just more of that kind of. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't think they're ever going to really touch on that stuff again either, where he's like super strong. I think they're going to scale him back. But but speaking on Kingpin, I do think he is like the shining part of the show so far. Like whenever he's on screen, I'm like, hell yeah, this is it. And I don't know. I was just so happy, like especially in that first episode, that we were getting like real scenes with both Kingpin and Daredevil. Like they're real players in this universe again. So I think that's exciting in itself. But yeah, I think the actual Echo and Maya stuff is definitely not done super well. Like we were talking about her powers, and and I said it at the very beginning, I would have written this so differently. And for some reason, the creator of the show like just doesn't like the like comic book characters' powers. And so she like all this Native American like ancestry strength power stuff is like all completely new for the show.
Okay.
And so in the comics, I took it as in the comics, she's a deaf character, obviously. But like just like how Daredevil lost his sense of sight and heightened all his other senses, I assumed that like her losing her sense of hearing like heightened her sense of sight. And so basically her power is she can copy like anybody's movement, and so she basically can like copy anybody's fighting style and can fight like how they fight. And I think that is a much more like interesting and kind of a cool like foil maybe to what Daredevil would be and do. But they wanted to like go heavily into her Native American stuff, and that's just not at all the route I would have gone down.
No, me either. I mean, if you want to tie things into like your heritage and somehow,
I think that's fine. Right?
Yeah, but to make her like, yes, you are you are giving her greater powers in the way like from the stuff that's been taken away from her, right, by giving her these powers, like similar to like Daredevil with his enhanced, spatial awareness and whatnot.
Right.
But I just think that you make her a less interesting character.
So less interesting. Yeah. And it's just such a shame, because like I said, it would have been such a cool like compliment to like Daredevil's story. I think she could have been a cool addition down the road in a Daredevil season 4 or Born Again, whatever you want to call it. But now I have no desire to see her again. Especially if this power is like the forefront of her character. So, I mean, it's an okay show so far. I'm not loving the character. The action can be good, but budget wise, some of the action doesn't look great. Story isn't great. Side characters aren't great. Yeah,
I mean, and the other thing is, we're not really like similar to. There's been some other shows I've kind of like Boba Fett. There we go, another Disney property. So we don't really even know why Echo wants to be taking over as this queen of crime.
Well, I guess I thought she was just wanting to take down Kingpin.
But seems like she's like, no, now there's a queen should be in charge, like,
was that said?
Like on top of the tower, or
I guess I missed it. I did think it was cool that like she was labeled as like the king killer and like has a bounty by Kingpin.
Sure.
I think that's kind of badass. But yeah, I don't like that motivation at all. Where she like,
but I don't even know. I don't even know the motivation.
I mean, this whole time I had assumed that like she knows Fisk, like she didn't kill Fisk, so like the second best option now is to destroy his empire. And I think that is her motivation. But if it's not, then I think the show is even worse. I think that's like the only good motivation she could have, because she's still mad about her dad.
I think there's still a motivation, but it's still not made clear to me. Yeah. Unless not everything has to be made clear, but like I don't even know why she's in Oklahoma. But you want to know why you're
even following this character,
Like I know she got shot or whatever, and then she started driving to Oklahoma.
We don't even know who shot her. Right? Or is that from the end of? There's no way, because that was like 6 months after the end of Hawkeye. So we have no idea who shot her.
I don't know.
It's a baffling set of sequences for sure. Yeah. So get ready for a part 2 review probably next week.
Yeah.
Three episodes, or we can wait 2 weeks. It's up whatever.
We'll see what I can do. We'll see.
Yeah. You're a busy man. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that is everything we wanted to talk about this week. Now we recorded this pretty close to when we last recorded, so I don't know if I have watched anything since we last watched.
Well, I watched Megan again, so I can say that I watched Megan, sure. And I still think it's a great horror movie. I mean, to be honest, like you could watch Megan. It's not even.
Oh wow! Okay.
I mean, it's really not even like a horror movie, and if you want to call it that, like how you like The Thing, and you some like horror stuff from like the 80s or stuff that's kind of spooky that's from that time period.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like that. It like the majority of the movie is more of like kind of like just a movie about a toy developer and her and she's an aunt to this girl that lost her parents, and they're trying to do their connection. And then you have this doll that she builds, and then it's kind of like a psychological thriller, and then it turns more into like horror, but it's still not even horror. Like it's still not even hard to watch. It's just more like, like I stabbed somebody, and it's really not that bad.
So is it really like explained how it comes to life, or is it just kind of like?
It's still
it's explained.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, well, I'm sorry. The doll, it's Megan stands for Model 3 Generative Android. So it's a robot that's like an AI that's
okay.
That's supposed to be.
I could definitely watch Megan.
Right. It's supposed to be they're trying to make the new best toy on the market.
Okay.
And Megan's supposed to be that.
Yeah, I could definitely watch that.
Yeah.
Aren't they making a Megan too?
Yes.
Okay. Is that why you watched it again, or are you just kind of feeling
it? Hannah and I she said we could either watch Percy Jackson and finish Percy Jackson, or we could watch something spooky. And
you were feeling spooky. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, well, we could watch this. We could watch this. We could watch this. We just decided to watch Megan. So
nice.
Yeah.
Well, there is one thing I've been rewatching as well. There's a show called Go On. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
No.
But basically, it starred Matthew Perry, who recently passed, and it only ever got one season, 22 episode season. But basically, it was about him as a successful radio host who. Basically, his wife had tragically passed out of nowhere, and so his job was basically making him go to this kind of like this therapy group for people who are transitioning in their life. And basically, yeah, it's about him and this group of people who are also hurting, and kind of following their daily struggles of kind of going through loss and harder things in life. But it's mostly like a comedy show. Like, and it's not like there's no laugh track. It's not a sitcom. But
I mean, that
like,
sounds hilarious to me.
no, I feel it's not a hilarious concept, but like every episode has that like very early like Office feel where you have these like these funny or like really funny moments, but then like the episode ends on something that's like really like heartfelt and beautiful, and I don't know, two characters get to connect, and I don't know, I think it's a really well written show, really funny, really heartfelt. I loved it when I first watched it a decade ago, and it still holds
like
up.
10 years old.
It's 10 years old now. Yeah, came out in 2013.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, it definitely deserved more than one season. Absolutely.
Do you know why it got canceled?
So I just know that it like the viewership fell off pretty hard. Like even at that time, viewership numbers like what it started off at was insanely strong. I think the premiere was 16 million viewers.
16 million?
16.
Okay.
16,
wow. That's
which is still
good.
really high for 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the show, like the finale, it had like 2.5 million.
So
that's
not good.
Right. So I mean, like even after the first episode, I think like 6 million or 7 million people dropped off.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think in this world, like those numbers still like would warrant us like a second season. But I guess back then it just wasn't doing as well. Yeah. So
wow.
It's a bummer. Yeah. But it was a good one.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I've been watching.
Yeah, I mean that's all I watched too.
Cool. Well, thank you all for listening to us talk about trailers and reviews and stuff we've watched. It's definitely,
and Marvel.
Yeah, I can't forget the Marvel. But it's definitely our favorite things to talk about. But yeah, so thank you for supporting us. And if you want to listen to us in the future, we usually release on Fridays or Saturdays, and we release those on YouTube as well as Podbean, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. If you want to follow us, our links to our social medias are in the description. And if you want to support us one more time, we would always appreciate a like, a comment, a subscribe, a rating, or a review.
Yeah, thank you very much to everybody who watched or listened. Hopefully we will have the Echo Part 2 review next week.
Let us know what you think of Echo.
Yeah, let us know what you think of the bland show Echo.
Yeah.
That's
and as nice as we'll be.
Yeah, and I guess until next time.